Welcome to Home Biz Tax Talk. My name is Lysandra Everett. I am the Home Biz Tax Lady, where I help home business owners win the tax game. Home Biz Tax Talk airs Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock-ish. And when you tune into my show, you're going to hear about topics that are important to the home business community. Okay, so this week I am doing a series of videos based on the lessons that I've learned from burying my mom. We buried my siblings and I buried my mom on July 12th. But during this time of her terminal illness and stuff, I learned a lot. And so and I think it's important to share with you all because these are, some of those details that you don't know. The devil is always in the details. And believe you me, I found out some details during this time of preparing for my mom's death that I believe, you really need to know. And so today I want to talk about the veterans burial benefits because my mom was a veteran. She served in the United States Army for almost 21 years, just shy of 21 years when she was retired, medically retired in 2000. So one of the things that I have often heard veterans say is, oh, just let the military bury me. They'll do it for free. That is not true. Okay. So I want to share with you what those are because if your loved one is a veteran, whether it's a parent or you are that veteran, then you also need to understand, what benefits you have. And again, how it works because it is important. So the cost of my mother's funeral and burial was $12,270. Okay. And the reason I share that is because I want you to understand how much it costs to bury someone now. And we're not talking about an extravagant funeral. We're just talking about a simple ceremony. There was no bells and whistles and all of that stuff. Could that price have gone up way more? Absolutely. But that was not the case. But and so with that in mind, when you understand how the benefits work, I think it helps you prepare differently. Okay. So number one, if you are a veteran, you want to make sure that you have located your local casualty assistance office. This is where you nominate your next of kin. Now, if you have a remaining spouse, of course, that's a no-brainer. But if you don't have a remaining spouse, then you need to nominate your next of kin, whether it's your oldest child or whoever. Or if you don't have any children, whatever that looks like, you need to nominate your next of kin because that is the person that is going to receive your last retirement check or a portion thereof, depending on when you pass. Okay. Now, the VA provides the burial flag, and they also provide the headstone for free. But now, with the headstone, though, you have to have the granite to mount the headstone, and that is $765, at least in the state of Georgia. That's how much that headstone, the mount costs. And so that cost is not covered. All right. So they do provide the headstone. They do provide the flag, but the granite where you got to mount the headstone, you got to pay for that. Now, as far as costs go, understand that the VA pays for burial, not for the funeral. Okay. So, so again, you think about that. So what the VA pays, they pay a range from $200 to $2,000. All right. So if it's determined to be a service-related death, then that would be the $2,000 death benefit. Now, if it's not service-related, there's a $300 burial benefit and a $762 plot benefit. Okay. Now, then there's a lot of if-thens in all this stuff, you guys. So if your loved one passes while at the VA, then you get a $762 burial benefit and a $762 plot benefit. All right. So it matters if you pass away in the VA versus not the VA. If it's a VA contracted place, again, there's lots of moving parts to that. All right. And then, if the veteran is buried at one of the national cemeteries, then that part is free. Okay. But the thing that you have to realize is that a lot of times these national cemeteries aren't convenient to the family, or that it is what it is. So the nearest one to my family would have been about an hour and a half away. That's not what my mom wanted. So so she was buried in one of the local cemeteries. But just know that if you bury your veteran in a national cemetery, then that would be free. Otherwise, you know what, you're still paying. Now, when it comes down to the burial flag, and I've seen some people really like lose it over this. So if there is a surviving spouse, then again, no brainer, that flag goes to the surviving spouse. But if there is no surviving spouse and you're talking about your children, then it goes to the oldest living child, unless that oldest living child, relinquishes that to say, okay, you can give it to someone else, right? So just know that by regulation, that's what it is. But the thing about the VA death benefits, this is not in advance. You have to apply for this stuff because you have to have the death certificate, you have to have the obituary in order to apply for these benefits. And this is why, with a lot of my veterans, I'm really telling my veteran friends that, listen, having the veterans group life insurance is not enough, simply because, again, it's something that you have to apply for after the fact. They don't do the assignment like some other insurance policies will do. So this is why you have to really know what kind of insurance you have and how it works. So if all you have is VGLI, the Veterans Group Life Insurance, just know that your loved ones are going to have to apply for that benefit and wait for it to be processed in order to have money to bury you. This is why I am recommending you get something else, okay? So, and also the death benefits. This is something that you apply for after the fact. It's not something that you can get done, in a timely fashion in order to have these funds available to bury your loved ones. So if this had been all my mom had, we would have had to come out of our pockets this $12,000 in order to bury her. I'm very grateful that she had, thought enough to get, or however that happened, that she was able to purchase different types, a different type of life insurance so that we would not have to have that financial burden. So, sometimes when we see people, having these GoFundMe's, is not necessarily because they didn't have insurance. It may be because the type of insurance that they have, it doesn't pay out, until after you apply for have the death certificate and all that. And that only makes the costs go up, because then you have to pay to store the body of your loved one. Okay. So this is why, like I said, I'm doing these videos because I really hope that it sparks conversations in your family, to have these tough conversations, to figure out what is the plan for you to leave this earth. Because if you don't set the plan, then you're going to be leaving your family to have to figure this out. And then they're going to be trying to figure this out while they're trying to grieve at the same time. And it's not cute. Okay. So that's the deal on the veterans burial benefits. The benefits are there, but the way that you have to apply for that stuff, it's just not convenient at all. And so this is why I really recommend that you have some other type of insurance that's going to do what we talked about, is the assignment. So the assignment means that each beneficiary signs this particular form that says that the insurance company can then pay the funeral home directly to take care of the cost of that funeral, and it's not something that you have to come up with out of pocket. There is a fee that is associated with that, but in the big scheme of things, that fee is worth it, because if you got to come up with this money first, okay, then it's that can be a disaster, and where do people turn to? They, either go to credit cards, or, they go and pull money out of 401ks, wherever there's a big lump sum of money sitting, so that they can bury their loved ones. And so if we are to be responsible, then this is why, we take this time while we're living to make these plans, so that our families don't have to deal with this on the back end and trying to take care of business and grieve at the same time. It is not a good mix of things. I will be the one to tell you. So Um, so that's it for as a summary of the veterans burial benefit. So if you have a veteran that is your loved one, and if you in your family that you may have to, deal with the arrangements, help with the arrangements, have these conversations now so that everything is in place so that when it's time to grieve, it's time to grieve and you can focus on that instead of trying to figure out the logistics of how you're going to bury your loved one. Okay. So thanks so much for tuning into Home Biz Tax Talk, where you can obviously get an occasional life lesson as well. But we air Monday through Friday, 9 o'clock-ish, and you can come right here to get your questions answered about your home business taxes. All right, have a great day, and I will see you all next time. Bye.